What's up, guys? Haas Hogs balling on a budget. I went out on the lake yesterday. I was able to catch some nice fish. I was able to catch a nice keeper walleye. So I'm going to film the process of me cutting it down and getting it ready to cook.
Using a buck fillet knife, you can use whatever type of knife, but I just make a cut directly behind the head to the spine, and then I cut down the spine, but just through the meat, not through the bone, just straight down the spine. It's kind of like a guide cut. Again, on the other side, right behind the head, down the spine, and then you also got to cut the belly. I just find it easier to start from the butthole there and just cut straight out. You can start from the chest plate and cut down towards the tail, but I just find it easier. Whatever is your preference. Then this is why I don't cut through the ribs on the first cut, because the ribs are a little bit more of a elbow grease job, so I like to only focus on the ribs, and then you can just cut straight down the rest of the meat, staying real close to that spine so that you get enough or as much meat as possible out of the fish. Same thing on the other side, straight down the spine, keeping it nice and close to the spine, getting as much meat as possible off of there. When I'm taking the meat off of the scales, I just hold a bit of the scale with my fingernail. You can get clipboards that hold the end of the tail, and what you do is just cut in ever so slightly, but not through the scale, and then just run your blade along the bottom of the meat and it'll just come clean off. When it comes to the bones, I don't really mess around with trying to get it a clean cut. I just cut a bunch of that's out of there so that I don't ever swallow a bone. Same thing on the other side, just running the blade in between the meat and the skin. There's the fish skin there, and cutting out the bones. See, I just cut out all of it. You can take your knife in there and try to run it really close to the bone, but I don't like risking it, and you'll see me feeling the meat quite a bit, and that's just checking for bones. So same thing with this perch here, just a little cut behind the head to the spine, and then from the spine straight down to the tail, just cutting through the meat there. Same thing on the other side, behind the head, down the spine, but only through the meat. Cutting the ribs is a second job here, so just cutting the ribs right there, and then after you get through the rib cage, it's straight down through to the tail. Just cutting the belly open here again. I start from the butthole. You don't have to. You can start from the throat there and just go straight down to the tail, but I just find it easier to start from the butthole. Cutting along the spine, keeping as much meat as possible. Same thing on this side here. And then just yeet. Holding the fish skin really close to the table, just sliding the knife in between the meat, trying to get as much out of this little fish as possible. Same thing here. And cutting the ribs out. Again, I don't mess around. I just cut as much of it out. Anywhere that has the resemblance of bones, just cut it straight out. Give it a little feel with your fingers. You'll feel the bone. It's something sharp in something soft. You can't miss it. There you have it. A bag full of fillets. That'll easily feed somebody for a day, two if it's just one person.